Are you a prisoner of your past, wondering what that is? If you find that you just can't move forward, there's something that keeps stopping you. It's almost as if you hit a wall when you're trying to move forward. It's like self sabotaging yourself. That is a red flag that you likely are a prisoner of your past. Do you want to break free? Do you want to get out of prison once and for all? Well, here it is: forgiveness. You have to surrender the harm that was done to you. And for a lot of us, me included, that would be hard because it becomes a part of our identity. Some of us have built our entire careers around that harm that was done to us, but we, in and of ourselves, have never healed from that experience. And so we carry that pain with us. It's almost like a thorn that's in our side. Instead of removing the thorn and then healing from that, removing it, we carry it around with us so that no one can do anything to it. Because if someone hits up against it, it hurts. But we want to carry it around. And every single time you try to protect it, it's going to harm you in the long run. That's what's called being a prisoner of it. I know what that's like. My father, who was abusive to me, my five older sisters, and my younger brother. My father would say things to me, the words that were pervasive to me were, "You disgust me, get out of my face." And when he did that, and we would say those kinds of things, it got deep into my brainstem, and I could not let that go. It directed every single aspect of me. So when it came time for this, me to look at my then boyfriend, who is white, I told him, I can't date you because you're a white man. And even in my work, when I would interact with white men, I would hold them hostage because of my past. And there you go. I would sabotage myself. Once I started seeing these patterns, I realized I need to let that go. I need to work on that. And that's when my therapy began. I realized I had to exchange words for "you disgust me, get out of my face." Like, "You're beautiful. You're so good at what you do. When you show up, you bring so much light and you have so much power within you that so many people are pleased by your work. And even if they aren't pleased, just your mere presence brings lightness to people." I would say things like that to myself over and over and over again. And I felt weird saying it when I first started saying it, but then I would also pray. I would ask God to come into my heart and have me forgive myself and forgive others. I actually wrote about it in my book. There's this chapter called The Weeping Willow Tree of Forgiveness, because there was a time in my childhood that my father, he actually hugged me under a weeping willow tree. And it was a time period that I remember where I felt safe. And I can't say there have been a lot of times I felt safe with my dad, but I felt safe in that moment. I wrote about that experience. And so now when I feel like that, I think about that experience and I forgive my dad. I have completely and 100% forgiven him. And you know what that did for me? That allowed me to marry this white man, my husband, David Patton. We've been married for over 27 years. Now, I'm going to tell you, forgiveness, it's a long game. In the Bible, in Matthew 18:21 through 22, it says, "Then Peter came up to God, Jesus, and said to him, 'Hey, Lord, how often will I have to forgive my brother and how he sinned against me?'" And you know what Jesus said? As many as 7 times 70. That's a lot of times. You might say, because I used to say, is that 7 times 70 a day? 7 times 70 a month? It's 7 times 70. Let's just say it's a lot of time. And forgiveness is what will set you free. I love the fact that the Bible teaches us that forgiveness does that, but science also proves it now, that your heart needs to be free. You need to be free because that's the only way you're going to get out of prison. Because you can move out of a situation, but when it's in your mind, that doesn't allow freedom. And I love Eckhart Tolle in his book, A New Earth. He talks about awakening your life's purpose. And he actually writes in his book, and I want to read it to you. He said, There's only one perpetrator of evil on the planet. It's human unconsciousness. That realization is true forgiveness. With forgiveness, your victim identity dissolves and your true power emerges, the power of presence. Instead of blaming the darkness, instead of blaming your dad or blaming whomever, right? You bring in the light. To bring in light, in order to be a beautiful presence to yourself, to your kids, to your community, to your work, you have to have this mindset: forgiveness, surrendering, letting go. How often do you do it? 7 times 70. It's a continuous process. But oh, what a beautiful life you will have. And corporate women, when we can forgive ourselves and we can forgive others and put the right boundaries around, I'm not saying you have to have this deep relationship with everyone, but you do need to have a beautiful heart for forgiveness. If you want some inspiration to know what that actually looked like, I would say pick up my book, Inspiration in My Shoes. It's a great read and it will give you a lot of my story, but it's also packed with a lot of tangible steps that you can take, especially with forgiveness. I hope that it blesses you. I hope this video encourages you. Please send this to someone you know who needs to hear it, and I'll see you the next time.